oh wow, is this ever gonna stop? Oh wow, this is horrible. Feel so bad for this girl. Please God, let it end for her. And eventually it does, but nobody's happy. Hello and welcome to Blockbuster Reviews. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and try to review a film before the blocks reach the top or until 150 lines. Spoilers are at line 50. Here, So compliance is just a lovely little piece of darkness that flew well under my radar. And the story goes, it is a fast food restaurant, kind of place everybody's been to on occasion or all the time, depending on your eating habits. And during a busy, I believe, a Friday shift, the assistant manager gets a call from a gentleman claiming to be a police officer saying, hey, one of your employees has stolen money from a customer. And then he gives the description of an employee, Becky, who is, I believe, a woman who is either like maybe 18, very, very young. And the assistant manager pulls her into the back office, and the police officer says, you know what? We're just so busy at the station. Like, we're so busy. I got so much to do. You're going to have to search your employee. And the employee is like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. I believe they have, like, a supervisor there as well to, like, supervise the searching. And he's like, yeah, it's going to need to be a strip search. And it's like, okay, well, that seems like a little awkward, but sure, I guess. So they strip search her, and she's down to her underwear. And, of course, they're like, yep, she doesn't have anything. He's like, what about in her underwear? And then even the manager's like, you sure about that? And then, sure enough, she does make her employee, Becky, take off her underwear. Also, the manager is named Sandra, played by Ann O'Dowd. And she kills it in this movie. Basically, everybody kills it in this movie. This movie's great. It's just dark. It's dark, and it's filled with sadness. And then the more I looked into the movie, it got more and more sad. Essentially, it is the story of this manager slowly taking away the dignity and rights of one of her employees because she is listening to the quote-unquote cop on the phone. I say quote-unquote because let's just get to spoil it. It's not a cop. It's a dude fucking with someone on the phone. And it's essentially a person trying to see how far he can get people to do things just by telling them that he's a cop and staying on the phone with them. As the story gets on, more and more employees find out. They're kind of like, what the hell? You can't do this. But they also have this same kind of moment where they go like, well, I mean, it is a cop. It's a cop telling us to do that. Even though the only proof that it is a cop is the person telling them that it's a cop on the phone. Some of the younger employees, I would say teenagers, maybe late 20s, they each come in and have their moment of like, no, like, this isn't right. You can't do this. And then they get told by their manager, a different authority figure, like, hey, I'm taking care of it. It has to do. It's a police incident. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want her to go to jail. And the guy on the phone is also giving praise at perfect times to Sandra. Like, oh, you're doing a great job. Maybe you'll be a detective. You're really helping me out. This is great. And then every time he speaks to the woman who, is being violated by authority, he's always like, well, you got to think about what you did. You don't want to go to jail here. He has a little bit of information on her brother and uses that against her as well. And really, it all comes to a head when a employee who's like the maintenance guy, basically like a no-nonsense, I would say like a Sam Elliott type figure. Wish I could get his name just from this list of characters, but I do not remember which one is him. Wish I did, because he's the hero. He just comes in and goes, that guy on the phone is telling me to do things to that girl. That is not right. That is not a cop. You need to fucking get this shit figured out and let that girl go. Who, by the way, is sitting naked at this point in the back room Her clothes have been taken away. She has, spoiler alert, engaged in oral sex with the manager's fiance because the cop told her to. And the manager's fiance was like, huh, free blowjob. Okay. And, yeah, that's when the real cops get called. And, you know, like normal cop procedure, a bunch of them show up. Not just one guy to tell people to kidnap other people. The rest of the movie, which is about a good, I want to say like 15, 20 minutes, is the cops doing the investigation to find out who this guy is. Turns out the guy who did this, this isn't the only spot he's done it. He's been different versions of successful with it at different fast food restaurants all over the place, and it turns out he works in security, I believe, home security, and a telemarketer at that, so he's great on the phone. And the movie ends with like this really great interview with the woman Sandra, where it was like, you regret what you did? She's like, I thought he was a cop. And she tries to like humanize the fact that she did unspeakable things in terms of, you know, like in like the face of compliance of an authority figure. And then just tries to have like a moment in the interview where she's like, I'm a normal person, let's talk about the weather. And it's like, you've done unspeakable things that all you had to do was like think about it for a second, right? Like any person with a rational mind, but then you start questioning your own mind. And then you might have a, you know, a little bit of a mental breakdown. I'm just kidding. Point is this. The movie's awesome. I think you should see it. It was on Amazon Prime when I watched it. It's really slow moving, but like in that really great tension where you're like, oh wow, this person's in trouble. Oh wow, what the hell are you talking about? Oh wow, why are these people doing this? Oh wow, is this ever gonna stop? Oh wow, this is horrible. Feel so bad for this girl. Please God, let it end for her. And eventually it does, but nobody's happy. And then it says based on a true story, and you're like, well, it never got this far. And then you read up on the story and you're like, wow, it is so much worse. It is exactly how it went down, and the world is darkness. Compliance on Amazon Prime, I think, right now. Pretty dope watch. I recommend it. Peace.